This is the portable CTF. Let the record show this attack defense platform, source code presentation, etc., etc. is not officially sponsored by George Mason University in any capacity. The only formal associations to George Mason University with this presentation is that I will be attending George Mason University in 2015 with a computer science major, and I will be using this for training George Mason University teams, whether that's at MDC3 or CCDC, depending on if I compete in CCDC, etc., etc. The ultimate point of this is that you should not be looking at this and go, oh wow, this is a George Mason University tool. While it will be available, and in fact most available to George Mason University, this is not their intellectual property, and this is not officially endorsed by them. That's the main thing. This is not officially endorsed by them. Okay, so we have the portable CTF platform. We're going to register for an account. Let's go test video 2 because the first video was an epic failure. Test password, submit, registered. This is all going to be prettier since this is not the latest, this is not the last version. Test video 2, test password. This is a warning that if you've logged in already and you go directly to the login page and you log in again, even if you log in with the wrong password, if it's remembered your computer, it'll log you in. But sign in. And then there's been a bug in which this freezes. If you refresh, it's fine. That'll change in the future. It'll be straight up no refresh in the future. I might, whether that's through fixing the bug or just having it refresh automatically. So you have two options here. You can visit the scoreboard, in which it'll guess your username through a cookie that it cached when you logged in with, or not through. This is not the authentication, by the way. It does have session management for those of you freaking out about security. And then it'll tell you your score, just so if there's like a million teams registered, you don't have to browse through them. It has a log of who's been scoring points. These are all 127.0.0.1 because those are the IP addresses of the vulnerable servers. It refreshes automatically every half minute, since the interval currently is every minute for scoring. So every minute it checks to see if someone's scored points. As you can see, it takes about a second to run, but yeah, it takes about a second to run to check like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 accounts or something. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12 accounts. But it's growing, and then let's say you get into a machine. So let's remote into, and in the future this will be clearly displayed. So the Samba server is an anonymous read-only server, so you break into it and you add a file with your name. There's going to be a rules page that'll explain all this. It's not very hard to make. Add a file with your name. FTP server, anonymous as well. You add a file with your name to get points. Web server, it checks a particular page that you specify in the config. In this case, it's sites, which is literally like everybody up to a certain extent from the scoreboard. So they're all scoring points on the web server right now, but normally it'd be just a web page and you would have to deface it and put your name on it. So that 130 remote in. Oh shoot. Let me turn on remote connectivity. Oops. Okay, cool. So we're gonna remote in like we were attacking it and we knew the credentials somehow. They're actually pretty weak credentials, so we're in magically. What? Oh. Here, one moment, please. Let's say we had a rogue user on this machine. and that user had administrative access, so we just set up a user called rogue user with the password rogue. So we're going to remote in to the machine in question. Obviously it would be a different machine in competition. The scoring server and the machine you're attacking would not be on the same site, but in this case it's different. So rogue user, rogue is the password. Let's try to do a user one moment, please. Alright, well, whatever. We're going to move on, pretend we got access to this machine. The FTP server is running on SRV serve FTP, so test video 2. And test video 2 now gets access for now gets points for compromising this FTP server, and that should be shown here in like the next minute or so. It just refreshed, given another 30 seconds. I could manually refresh it in freaking anticipation. But it would come in the next minute. There it is. So they got a point. These are massive because this server's been running for days. And you can see test video 2 scored for this FTP server. And then say we compromise another machine. This is also a, you'll notice this is also a network share with M. Bailey's name in it, and by default you cannot edit it. You don't have permission? No. So you do not have permission to edit in this folder. So if you gained access to the server, I forgot what name it was, demo share. So if you got access to the Samba server and you did the same thing, touch test video 2, it now acknowledges that test video 2 managed to compromise the Samba server. Again, in this situation, the web server, the FTP server, the Samba server, the scoring server should all be in different servers. You don't have to have the FTP server, Samba server, and web server. You can disable them. And you'll notice it start picking up on points. Another bug that is going to be relatively easily sorted out is that it sees the site and goes, oh, test video 2, cool. Well, I see test video, so test video gets a point, and I see test video 2, so test video 2 gets a point. So what will likely happen there is, I don't know, I'll sort it out relatively easily though. I don't see a real issue sorting it out. And you can see it gained a point for FTP in Samba. It's a little different for the website. But it's now put its name in the source code of the site. The site in question is sites. One moment. think I put it in an invalid area. Yep. And you can see they've now added their name to the site, and they would be scored accordingly here. So now they'll get 3 points per minute because they've compromised 3 servers. You'll notice that here. Checked at 204. Scored for web, FTP, and Samba. You can also go here, go to here and forget this computer, and it'll no longer have your code, and you'll have to go back to the login page and log back in. It'll also no longer show you the custom option in the board, and it'll go about its merry business. So this is the demo. It's not complete. This is what it looks like on the back end for the FTP server and all of that. So you would copy this block if you wanted another FTP server scored. You would copy this block and add it. If you wanted another web server scored, and you would copy this block and add it. If you wanted a Samba server scored, you would change the IP according to what you would want. And then in Samba's case, you would change the share. In FTP's case, you would change the nothing actually. FTP will just go to the root directory of where. And in the web server's case, you would need to change this, unless you just wanted to check its index, in which case you would just want to remove this. The default installation of this will have this removed, and it'll just visit the IP like it would in a browser and look for the person's name. As you can see, it's got a few bugs and design flaws, but overall I'm pretty satisfied with the progress that's been made on it.